Roses, my name is Tianna and welcome to today's reading. This is a message from the universe, your guides, spirit, however that resonates for you, a message that you are meant to hear right now. This is for earth signs, so that is if you have a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising sign. If you do not but still feel called to this reading, feel free to stick around. If you enjoyed this reading, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And for more tarot content with me, you can find my Twitter at Tianna Rose Tarot, or use the link in the description box to book a personal reading with me. First of all, we have the card Align Your Life. What is not aligned or needs to change? And then we have Yes. Just say yes. So I think for some of you, you are already going to feel a sense of clarity just from seeing these cards, that before I even say anything, hearing either the invitation here to come into alignment or this affirmative yes, that you're going to already be feeling like you have some better guidance on what you need to do next. And so if you felt some kind of immediate reaction in your body, that is a clear indication that this is resonant for you. Even if that did not happen, there is potentially something here in your life right now that you know needs to come into alignment. This could be an opportunity, something that you've been wanting to start, or something that you were offered and you've been debating it, possibly out of some fear, possibly because it might feel like a very big change, but that you somewhere in you know that this is the right next step to take. Currently, things are maybe feeling a little bit fragmented. You might be feeling scattered, a little all over the place, like you're not quite sure where you're headed next. And I think this yes card is an indication that you don't need to know the full picture yet, but you do need to take a direction, in a step in an aligned direction. And that through taking that first step, you can then figure out how to take the next step. Some of you might be focused so hard on getting to that final step that you've held yourself back from even starting the process. And you don't need to know everything right now. You don't need to have an exact idea of where you're going. And even if this doesn't work out, it's information, it's experience, it's practice. The universe is guiding you by giving you a variety of opportunities, and not necessarily all of them will be aligned. The goal is for you to recognize how you feel in each moment so that you can more quickly recognize whether something is aligned or not. And that through those series of actions, that series of steps, you come closer and closer to what is aligned. And then suddenly this picture lines up for you and you have a clearer idea of who you are. But it's never going to be entirely laid out in front of you, or a feeling that you are going to be 100% certain. So chasing that idea that you're going to reach a certain point where all of a sudden you're going to feel like a full person or have all of that wholeness is possibly holding you back. That's something that you have to create within yourself. You have to create the feeling that you still love and respect yourself, even if you're still learning, because you are always going to be learning. You are always going to be experiencing new things and being pulled in different directions and learning how to tell whether it's a yes or a no. Listening to your intuition, that inner compass, and strengthening that connection that you have with yourself. That comes with time and with practice. And so you might already feel that more strongly than others, or that might be something that you're really working on right now. Either way, this is your own journey, and you're getting closer and closer with each opportunity you have. But give yourself some patience right now and recognize that if you know that there's something that you've been curious about, that you've been feeling called to, you should pursue that, because the worst that can happen is you realize that it's not aligned for you and you move on to something else. I think a lot of you are maybe putting it a lot more at stake here than is necessary. Of course, everybody has different situations, and there are some things that have a higher cost than others. But as humans, we tend to put a lot more pressure on ourselves than we really need to. In most situations, there is always another option, that each time you get to a new point, you can redirect. And that is how you grow. That is how you get to the things that you are truly feeling aligned with. And there may be things that you were aligned with at one point and that you're no longer aligned with now. That's also part of the process. So allow yourself to go through that journey. We have the Two of Wands. So again, some of you might be really looking towards the future now. I see a kind of similarities in these images here with the way that this person is looking towards this kind of triangle point here, as well as the woman in the Two of Wands looking out towards the future. As I said, it's good to have a sense of direction, but if you are standing on this coastline and you see the whole path out ahead of you, but you never take that first step, then you're never going to be able to get to the other side. And it's possible that you take a step and then you recognize that you're on the completely wrong path, that you need to get on a different option, that you need to get on a different boat. And you go through that process by taking those opportunities at each step of the way. So again, it's good to have some idea of where you're trying to go, but recognize that getting there could take place in a variety of different ways. And make sure you're not getting stuck in just the practicing or the planning stage and holding yourself back from actually taking any action. We have the Lovers card here. So for some of you, this could indicate a romantic connection, a soul connection that you are moving towards, calling in somebody who is aligned for you, recognizing that somebody is a yes, even if you don't quite know where it's going yet. But also, this card can indicate coming into a deeper connection, a deeper partnership with yourself, with that intuition, with your future goals, coming into full feelings of wholeness, even without another person, recognizing that you are enough just as you are, that it's not about finding another person to become your other half or anything like that. A lot of people feel like when they get a certain partner or they get a certain job or they get to a certain position, that then they're going to be happy or then they're going to feel aligned or then it's all going to click. And that's not necessarily how it works. It comes through all of these baby steps, all of these moments of recognizing what feels right or wrong to you, and making the conscious choice to be there for yourself throughout that whole experience. And so throughout that process, you may be calling in somebody who's aligned for you. You may be releasing somebody who is not aligned for you, as well as all of the other opportunities in your life at this time. And lastly, we have the beautiful Ten of Cups. So again, this card often is referencing a romantic connection coming into family, marriage, long-term happiness, commitment. So if that is the path that you are wanting to go down, that is fully available to you. But this also, again, is about that feeling of fulfillment. And that's something that you can have right now. That's not something to be chasing externally or saying, oh, when I get to this certain point on the other side, then I will have it. It becomes possible while you continue to say yes to the aligned things. Trust that all of the things that you want are available to you. And that even though they might come in a different way than you expected, they're all possible. So definitely for some of you, you may be settling in some different situations. And there's a reminder here to recognize those things that don't feel aligned, while also balancing the fact that it's never going to feel 100% perfect. And you may have a tendency to look towards the other side, to say the grass is always greener on the other side. But yeah, it's all about that balance. Not settling, but also recognizing that you can be fully happy and content with what you have now, with who you are. And then allowing the things around you, the things that you do to spend your time, letting those follow suit to be in alignment with the amount of respect and love that you have for yourself. So if you're somebody that's been focusing on calling in something like this, something like a long-term partnership or a really aligned career opportunity, anything like that, if you've been thinking about those goals, start with coming into that in yourself. Say yes to yourself, and then say yes to taking some first steps, to continuing on this process. And then eventually everything will start to get to that point because you've been doing this for so long, that you've been consciously getting to know yourself, getting to know what you like, getting to know what does not feel aligned, and practicing letting those things go. That's how you then come into this fulfillment. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that resonates. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and thank you, Earth Signs.